Welcome back. We are catching up with local attorney Tim Watson here with more useful information about the law and how it might help you. And today we're going to talk about a classic case scenario for an attorney. What to do if you get into a car accident.
Yeah.
Thank you to Watson & Watson for sponsoring this segment. Welcome back, Tim. Great to see you.
Absolutely. Glad to be back, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So car wrecks and attorneys.
Yeah.
There's like 100 jokes there. But I mean, there's a reason for it. Attorneys, basically, their job is to help people who are in a bad situation. And getting in a car wreck and getting hurt is a pretty bad situation. And so there are some basic things that people need to know when they get in a car wreck, the things that they need to do to try to help themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could bullet point kind of those things, take us through those.
So first, you got to report it.
Sure.
It's the law. Any car accident, you have to report to the police. And you can actually get charged for leaving the scene of an accident. That's a crime. But you're not just reporting it because it's a crime. You're reporting it because you want to create a record. The police officer will show up. He will take your statement. He will take the other driver's statement. He will take any witness statements around there. He'll create a little diagram of the wreck. So police officer will put together a report that your attorney can use later to help you. So first, report it.
Okay.
Second thing that you want to do, which is actually as important as the first, take care of yourself.
Yes.
You've been in a wreck. If you haven't been taken to the hospital in an ambulance, you still need to get checked out. First time you get a chance. You know, a lot of people get in a wreck, and we're driving around in these big metal boxes, and when they slam into each other, it's pretty rare not to be injured a little bit. But when you get in a wreck, you're in shock.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily know
Yeah.
that you've been injured. And so follow up. If the people who show up, if the first responders tell you that you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not a terrible accident, it's not obvious, but even if you're not taken to the hospital right away, get to a doctor pretty quick and make sure that you're taken care of.
Okay.
That also is important
Okay.
in creating a record that you actually have experienced an injury and are getting treated for.
Sure.
That's good.
Okay. Anything else we need to know, Tim?
Yeah, so third, call your insurance agent.
Okay.
Most insurance policies require that you actually report it to your insurance company right when it happens, and that may, depending on your policy, affect the coverage that you have. When you report an accident to your own insurance, that does not mean you are filing a claim on your insurance. A lot of people are afraid to call their own insurance because they're afraid their premiums
Right.
are
Oh my
gonna
gosh,
go
they'll drop me.
Yeah, they're going to
Yes.
drop you or they're going to double your premiums. That's not the case, especially if it's not your fault, but even if it is, you need to report it. But especially if it's not your fault, you may have coverage for if the other driver isn't insured, for some basic med pay. Typically, most people have a policy that gives them $5,000 of medical bills pay that they can receive from their own insurance.
Okay.
So call your insurance agent.
Sure. And then one more thing I know.
Surprisingly. Can you guess?
Something to do with an attorney?
Something to do with an attorney. Call an attorney. You need to call an attorney who practices personal injury law, like I do. But why? Why do you need to call an attorney? Well, not surprisingly for some, even if you're not at fault in a car wreck, even if it is clearly the other driver's fault and you're terribly injured and you've got proof that you're terribly injured, it can take a long time for the other insurance company to acknowledge it and to offer what you need to be paid to take care of not only your medical bills, but the pain that you have experienced. Hopefully there's not anything permanent and life-changing, but if there is, that needs to be addressed. Attorneys that do this know how to communicate with these insurance companies, know what these insurance companies need to see and have to see, and just as importantly, know if you need to file a lawsuit, because you may need to file a lawsuit.
Sure.
Well, that's good. So I heard you say call the police, take care of yourself, call your insurance agent, and then call Tim Watson.
Call Tim Watson.
Yeah, call Tim
Always,
Watson.
call Tim Watson.
That's right. And you've got the information right there on your screen. Tim, again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time and your great advice.
That's right.
Thanks a lot. Great to be here, guys.
Don't forget